Welcome into another video on the channel where we're going through and testing all the weapons inside of MW3 to see how viable these weapons are to be using inside of our Zombies game mode. This is going to include the aftermarket parts, the aftermarket conversion kits, as well as the MW2 weapons. So if you're new around here and you like everything Call of Duty Zombies, make sure you are subscribed with those bell notifications turned on so you're not going to miss out any future uploads for myself. As well, down below in the description, you will find the link for my streams. I stream on Mondays and Thursdays, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I stream everything from MW3 Zombies all the way through to custom zombies. Have a ton of fun over there and look forward to having you all come and hang out. And yes, that does mean today there will be a stream. Now in today's video, before we get into any of the weapon review stuff, I wanted to start off and mention that we have selected one winner for passing the 4K subscriber mark on the channel for a standard edition of Black Ops 6. I got in contact with that winner and they let me know they've already pre-ordered it. So we selected the second winner, Happy Cushbush, which I've yet to hear from. So if you are watching this video, make sure you get down into the description and join the Zhorde community Discord, and then shoot me a DM when you get in the Discord so that we can sort out your standard copy of Black Ops 6 on a platform of your choice. I could not be more excited to be able to give back as the channel grows, as I do grow because of your support, so it just makes sense to me to be able to give back as the channel grows. So thank you again, each and every one of you, for the absolute legendary support. Now in today's video, before we dive into the review, I just want to touch base and see how we are doing with the Echo Endo Live event. I have finished it and unlocked the animated camo, which we're going to be using for today's run. So let me know where you guys are in the comments section with the event. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at MW2 assault rifle that I truly enjoy using. And so today we're going to be taking a look at the MW2 assault rifle, the M4. We're going to be taking this through all three tiers, taking on bounty contracts all the way through. So hopefully by the end of today's video, you have a good feel for how the M4 assault rifle performs inside of your Zombies games. And by the end of the video, hopefully you'll be able to make up your mind on whether or not the M4 without the conversion kit is going to be a viable option for you to run inside of your Zombies game mode. So without further ado, let's dive into the M4 review video today. Welcome into today's video. Thank you so very much for tuning in. I hope you all had an amazing weekend. I took a couple days off on the weekend to deal with some stuff around the house and spend some time with my girlfriend. So I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Welcome into today's video. We're going to be taking a look at the M4 assault rifle from MW2. We have the Endo Echo event blue camo on the gun, so we're going to be looking to keep that camo on for our run today. And if you're new to the channel, when I spawn in here on this channel to do my weapon testing videos, I spawn in and put on my perks with no additions to the weapon to make it any stronger whatsoever. Aside from being a mouse and keyboard player, I do run Deadshot Daiquiri for the little bit of extra critical damage that it does provide. So that is about the only addition to the weapon we have to make it any stronger. And then we go ahead and find our first bounty contract of the day inside of tier 1, and we're looking to take this bounty contract on at white rarity with no additions to the weapon whatsoever. So just base, but like I said in the intro, just Deadshot Daiquiri is the only addition we have. Before we get into the Mangler, I just want to mention the Scorcher effects bug or glitch or whatever is still here. I really hope that gets patched for Season 5 Reloaded, which I am super excited for, as we have our final story mission for MW3 Zombies, which looks absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to go and check that out. As well, we got 3 new schematics to be able to track down and a dark ether portal to open. So that's going to be super awesome. That is on Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I am super excited to dive in and bring you guys that. Now, our first bounty contract of the day, that Mangler, definitely wasn't much of a struggle. I was feeling really confident using this, seeing the damage output it had just at base rarity. So the next thing to do was to head off to the Pack-a-Punch machine. Now, in order to keep your camo, melee the Pack-a-Punch machine before you use it, or apply a Pack-a-Punch crystal to your weapon, and your camo blueprint combination will stay on your weapon for the rest of the run. Unless you go into the dark ether or a story mission, you will lose your camo in there, and it will give you the corresponding pack level that you're at. So here's our second bounty contract of the day inside of tier 1. It was a Mimic, and we took that on at white rarity with only Pack-a-Punch, and what a difference in the damage output. I was thoroughly impressed with that. So seeing how well our first 2 bounty contracts have performed using this M4, I was kind of eager to put on my legendary tool, my ammo mod, and go off and take on our final bounty contract inside of Tier 1. And this one is always going to be a super fun bounty contract to delete, as at this point, being Pack 1 Legendary with an ammo mod inside of Tier 1, we are incredibly overpowered, and it is just a ton of fun for me to go out and just eviscerate this bounty contract. And as expected, it was just at no chance for the Mangler whatsoever. So seeing how this performed across all of our bounty contracts inside of Tier 1, increasing the weapon damage output as we go, I wanted to push into Tier 2 now and grab a bounty contract inside of Tier 2, but I didn't want to increase any damage output on the M4 and keep it where it was and see how well this weapon performs inside of Tier 2, dealing with the Tier 2 bounty being only Pack-a-Punch level 1. And I was pretty impressed. I mean, Disciples, if you've been following my channel, you know my thoughts and feelings about Disciples, but this one here was definitely not much of a struggle. Being only Pack 1, I felt incredibly strong inside of Tier 2, being only Pack 1 Legendary. So that was absolutely amazing to see. And at this point, I was really eager to visit Pack-a-Punch inside of Tier 2 to increase the damage output on this M4 assault rifle and see just, you know, what it was capable of doing inside of Tier 2, seeing how our first Tier 2 bounty went extremely well, being only Pack 1 Legendary. So it was time to grab our second bounty contract inside of Tier 2. And this time we are now Pack 2 Legendary with an ammo mod, and I was kind of eager to see how this would perform against our bounty contract. So we went and visited our Mangler bounty contract inside of Tier 2, and I tell you, this is the strangest thing that has been happening recently inside of my games, where a bounty contract will not target me at all whatsoever. Now I have noticed sometimes that when this happens, it's because Tier 3 is just absolutely flooded with players. I think at one point there was close to 18 players inside of Tier 3 in my match, so that might have been a contributing factor to why my bounty contract didn't, you know, target me inside of Tier 2. But definitely a viable option for running in Tier 2 at Pack 2. That Mangler was not a struggle to deal with at all. So seeing how well this assault rifle had performed so far throughout our match, I was kind of eager to get into Tier 3, visit the Wonder Fizz machine, grab the last of the perks that I needed, and then wander into Tier 3, seeing how this M4 was going to perform, being only Pack-a-Punch level 2, as I did not want to increase the damage output yet. I was curious to see how this was going to handle the Tier 3 zombies and handle Tier 3 congestion as a whole. Now, normally I come over here to check and see if that ritual is available, so I can recoup my legendary tool and the PAP3 crystal I bring in for the runs. But alas, it was taken this match, and then I noticed on my TAC map, I got the opportunity to grab a cargo contract. With Tier 3 being as busy as it was, I took full advantage of that, didn't even bother trying to ping it on my TAC map, went straight through and grabbed it, as I knew grabbing contracts with this many players inside of Tier 3 for this run was definitely going to be a struggle. So I was happy that I was able to grab this cargo contract and get one of the easier contracts done inside of Tier 3, seeing, you know, how busy it is. And I really do feel like Tier 3 recently in my lobbies has been incredibly packed and incredibly busy. So let me know if you guys have noticed that inside of your games, that Tier 3 is just completely jam-packed recently. I have certainly felt that for sure. We got a PAP2 crystal out of that and a self-revive, which was awesome. And I didn't have any room for a schematic today, so we just kind of left that there. Also, on that note, I've had a bit of a struggle trying to hand off schematics. We are late in the game's life cycle, and I do feel like a lot of the players have most of the majority of the schematics already. But if you're looking for help with schematics, story missions, or anything MW3 Zombies, feel free to join the Zhorde community Discord. The link for that is down in the description below. We may be small, but we are a community that is growing, full of players that are willing to help each other out. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then join the Discord down below, and we'd be happy to have you there and help you out with whatever missions you needed. So we did a bit of crowd control there at Pack-a-Punch level 2 inside of Tier 3, and it was definitely handling the crowd control at PAP2 without much of a struggle at all. So seeing how that was performing, I wanted to throw on my PAP3 crystal that I bring in every single match and see how this M4 handles crowd control inside of Tier 3 at max damage output now with legendary PAP3 and an ammo mod on this M4, and definitely wasn't much of a struggle. The standard HVT mimic in the area, and you can see his health bar just get eviscerated using this M4 at max damage. So I was feeling really confident using this assault rifle, and I don't remember it being this viable when I ran it back, and I think it was Season 2 or Season 1. So to see it doing and performing as well as it is right now is definitely awesome to see. M4 is one of my weapons I love to use from MW2. I've got some really cool blueprints on there, which I'm rocking today. So stick through to the end of the video. I have the build, the blueprint, and the camo for you, so you will know what's going on with that. I got you covered there. But here we are. We took on Zhorde, the Guardian of the Arches, and I was curious to see how he was going to respond to this assault rifle at max damage output, and I was not disappointed. This assault rifle at max damage output definitely will shred inside of tier 3, handling standard HVTs, zombies, armored zombies, the sprinters, the dogs. It's definitely not much of an issue using this assault rifle. This is one that I would definitely recommend if you wanted to try and change it up, or you want to try and get maybe Borealis done on your MW2 weapons and you haven't finished up your assault rifles, then go ahead and give the M4 a shot. I feel like you'll definitely have a good run and enjoy using this weapon inside of your zombies game mode. Now here we are trying to finish off Zhorde. He was almost done. I think I'd taken off 2 of his heads at this point. You can see his health bar when I'm hitting the critical shots. He is definitely taking some substantial damage from this M4 assault rifle at max damage output. And I was feeling really confident with this assault rifle inside of tier 3. And you can see we finished off Zhorde there. It just wasn't much of an issue to deal with Zhorde, tier 3, or any of the congestion inside of tier 3 at all. But I wanted to show you today just how busy my tier 3 is. I mean, this is absolutely insane. I didn't even know which contract to ping. There's players all over the place. One's going in a Scorcher to the Spore control. Another one picked up the bounty. I pinged this Spore control, but there was a player in the area on their way to the bounty contract, so I wasn't even sure if I was going to be able to get it, but I did manage to get in there just before the player and pick up that contract. He even commented in game. He said, "Nice one, G." I thought that was pretty funny. I don't like trying to steal contracts from people, but I definitely needed to get one, and so I unfortunately had to kind of steal that contract from that player today. So sorry about that, but I needed a contract for the video, so we went and got the Spore contract and started that up. Now, I wanted to show you the majority of me completing the Spore contract inside of tier 3 so that you all have a really good feel for how this assault rifle performs inside of tier 3, dealing with the congestion that's tier 3. When you activate the Spores inside of tier 3, it spawns in a whole bunch of other enemies and zombies for you in the area. So I thought this was a perfect opportunity for you all to get a really good feel for how this weapon performs inside of our zombies game mode, and whether or not it's going to be a viable option you know, for you to be using inside of your zombies game mode based on how you play. Like, you can see how we're doing for damage, you can see how well this weapon performs, so hopefully you can make a decision on whether or not this is something that fits your playstyle and something that you would be able to run inside of your zombies games, because I feel that is definitely a viable option for us to be using. It handles, as you can see on screen, the crowd control inside of tier 3, not much of an issue. The standard HVTs just get melted at the end of the barrel, which is amazing to see. I gave a nice little uppercut to that zombie there. He didn't appreciate that and tried to slap me. But I mean, I just really felt comfortable using the M4. It definitely has the mobility that I like to see. It's not one of the slower ARs to use. As always with my builds, there's definitely going to be some room to move to make this weapon class built more aimed towards mobility and speed. I tend to build my weapons more for recoil control and damage control, typically because inside of MW3 Zombies, I usually only run one gun and my fists. So I'm not really too concerned with my weapon builds on making sure that I have the absolute fastest movement speed possible on my weapons for my playstyle, because when I play, like I said, it's one weapon and my fist, so I can always just swap weapons to my fists and use that for maneuverability. So I don't necessarily build my weapons to be built for, you know, being a speed demon. I'm more interested in causing damage to the elites, as much damage output as I possibly can on each weapon, and having them shoot as straight as possible. And I definitely feel like this assault rifle fits that bill. I wasn't having much of an issue completing the Spore contract inside of tier 3, handling, you know, everything that comes at you while you're doing the Spore contracts. I felt like the Spore contract was a really good one to show you how this weapon performs inside of tier 3. Here's a standard HVT Mangler in the area. We're able to take out his cannon fairly quickly, and you can see his health bar there. It just gets absolutely melted at the end of the barrel of this M4. So definitely a viable option to be using inside of Zombies across all 3 tiers. I definitely feel like that. I even feel like if you brought this into tier 3 at epic rarity, that you would be able to do enough damage that it's going to be something that would be a viable option at epic. I don't feel that blue rarity on just about any weapon is going to be a viable option inside of tier 3, but that's just my personal opinion. I know some weapons you can run at blue, but there's not too many in the weapon list that you can run inside of tier 3 at blue and have be a viable option. So I did manage to go off and grab ourselves a bounty contract inside of tier 3, which was awesome. I was hoping to get a Mega Abomination bounty contract to show you, but the game was definitely not agreeing with me on that. Now, there was the circuit turret that was activated by a player in the area, so that definitely eliminated our bounty contract fairly quickly, but you can see the critical damage I was able to do before that sentry turret got into our Mimic and totally just destroyed him. So it's definitely a viable option, this M4. It hits really strong. It's got a decent fire rate. The magazine size is good. And overall, I just feel like this was definitely a viable option to be using inside of our Zombies games. I had a ton of fun running this weapon today inside of my games. Also, take a moment here to thank, I wasn't able to track down the comment, but someone had mentioned to give the M4 a run down in the comment section. So thank you so much for mentioning the M4 assault rifle in the comment section. This was definitely an awesome weapon to use inside of my game. I had a ton of fun running this one today. It was overall, it's a good weapon. Very, very comfortable to use, feels good, and it's solid in all situations across all 3 tiers inside of our game. So I definitely feel like, give this M4 a shot. This is without the conversion kit, so we're not using the 50 cal conversion kit for the M4. It's just the standard M4 from MW2 is what we're using for today's run, and I couldn't believe it, but I managed to grab a second cargo contract inside of tier 3 today. I was feeling just absolutely blessed being able to grab 2 cargo contracts in one run inside of tier 3. Being as busy as tier 3 was, I really couldn't believe that. So at this point, I knew the storm was about to move, and I had checked the TAC map earlier, so I knew there wasn't much time to kind of linger around inside of tier 3 with the storm and Exfils in the locations that they were. So at this point, I pushed on through to an Exfil, which was a good thing I did when I did, because yet again, here I am exfilling in the storm. At the end of the match, we're inside 10 minutes to go. The storm was consuming our exfil right here, but I mean, I wanted to show you this last little bit of the exfil to show you how well this M4 performs, like taking out the zombies in the storm. They definitely have some extra health, and it wasn't much of an issue. Like, this M4 feels good. You can see we're able to handle the beefed up storm zombies here at the Exfil. So overall, my thoughts and feelings on the MW2 assault rifle without the conversion kit is going to be 100% a viable option for you to be using across all 3 tiers inside of our Modern Warfare 3 Zombies game modes. Now, as always, like I do at the end of every single video, you will find the weapon build that I used for today's run. So if you guys want to work together down below in the comment section to make any changes to the weapon build that I use to maybe gear it more towards mobility or more towards ADS speed, then the comment section is definitely the place to work together and make that happen. So this on screen is the build that I used for the run today. And then we'll show you guys the camo that was from the Echo Endo event. So it's under all camos and it is under your events. And if you scroll, it's just right there, the cat girl smile. And then we'll show you the blueprint that I was running on the M4 for today's video. And that'll be about it. But thank you everybody for tuning in so very much. I truly appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you in tomorrow's video. Have yourselves an awesome rest of your Monday, and we'll catch you in the next one.